I always find Halloween a fun time of year, even though I never practice the whole trick-or-treating thing because of poison candy, like that famous Halloween classic, Mr. Monk Goes Home Again, not to mention EDPs, the ditties as the kids would say, but I still love the holiday, the candy, the parties, the seasonal change, and especially a good Halloween episode. I know that most of the shows on streaming get like 10 episodes per season, causing them to lose out on valuable stuff like specials and filler, but back in the day, I swear Halloween TV blocks were pure cinema, even if you weren't into horror at that age. I mean, sure, they still have it on channels nowadays, but with everything being at your fingertips, it just doesn't hit the same. Not to mention the growing decrease of TV's popularity with children over the past few years. So to put it bluntly speaking, Halloween episodes were basically an event. And one of my personal all-time favorite Halloween episodes has to be the Spongebob classic Graveyard Shift. I mean, if you want to be technical, you could not call it a Halloween special since it aired on September 6, 2002, but me personally, I consider it a Halloween special if for one, it's spooky, and two, if it aired within the month range of September to October, nothing too soon and nothing too late. Them be the rules, as I say. Anyways, as you saw from the title of this video, I want to discuss with you why I consider this SpongeBob episode to be a certified Halloween hood classic. So let's get into the video. Now the episode begins with a closing, specifically the Krusty Krab closing for the end of day, when a customer tries to get in a last minute order, which gives Mr. Krabs the OSHA-violated idea of letting the Krusty Krab run 24 hours, with SpongeBob as happy as soups and Squidward being one more step away from pulling a Hannah Baker. To get SpongeBob to be quiet, Squidward tells him to throw the trash out, which spooks him because it's a dark night, but he manages to do it with fear. Sensing this, Squidward decides to scare him further by telling him a ghost story about the mash tap and heat mapping slinging slasher, a Krusty Krab fry cook who accidentally got his hand cut off and replaced with a rusty spatula. Plus he got ran over by a bus and was fired. Because of this, his spirit haunts the Krusty Krab every Tuesday night, with all those inside being prey to his wrath. His arrival is heralded by 3 different signs: flickering lights, a ringing phone without a caller, and the arrival of the bus that killed him. This causes SpongeBob to freak out on Phonem's grave, as the kids these days say, with Squidward having to admit the whole story was a lie. However, as the hours pass, strange things start to happen.
It was truly more sus than a character from Among Us.
The lights flicker on and off, the phone rings without anyone on the other end, Friedrich Fazbear hits the gritty, and finally, a bus arrives with a lone passenger, a man with a ostensibly spatula-shaped hand, with all signs pointing to only one conclusion: the slinging slasher truly is real, and so is his murderous appetite. As SpongeBob and Squidward freak out and make their peace with John Morant, it turns out it was just someone who just wanted to apply for a fry cook position, with the phone cutting out because he was nervous. It just about explains everything but the lights, which were done by the usual naughty scallywag Nosferatu. Honestly, when I first saw this episode and this ending, I just thought to myself, who the hell was that? But as I got older and learned who Nosferatu was, it all made sense. By the way, shout out to Robert Eggers. I hope Nosferatu makes bank. You gotta get your money back out the Northman, bro. What I'm trying to say is that this episode just doesn't serve as another piece of a spooky episode for kids. Instead, it also serves as a homage to the art movement known as German Expressionism. You may be asking, what exactly is German Expressionism? Well, German Expressionism was an artistic movement that emerged in Germany post-World War I, specifically after the signing of the Treaty of Versailles, leaving the country in a great financial debt and a broken spirit with hyperinflation, political turmoil, and mass unemployment. Not to mention the whole Great Depression making everything worse. However, the arts industry, or in this specific case, German cinema, thrived and sought to represent the reality of this new Germany, not through realism, but by capturing reality by a means of fantastical absurdism, which was meant to convey the overall nature of Germany at the time. A whirlwind of chaos and anxiety. This can be seen with many movies at the time, such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Metropolis, and especially Nosferatu. These films' influence can also be observed within the episode, as one of the core qualities of German expressionism is the toying around of visual perspective, such as when Spongebob had to dispose of the trash, the night sky turning into a sort of unnatural/unusual mix of green and black, or when the slasher appeared within the shadows, the viewer finds themselves, like the characters, a slave to the distorted world. Another major theme that's present within German expressionism is the lack of control our protagonists have, as seen with the main protagonist of Nosferatu, Thomas Hutter, being helpless against Nosferatu, whose actual name is Count Orlok. It's just another case of the monster being called Frankenstein, in which Hutter spends most of the movie trapped and trying to hide from him. Or in The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, with the sleepwalking Cesar being helplessly under the control of the mastermind Dr. Caligari, ordered to kill whoever he wants. It's kind of like the Kamna from Teen Wolf, who also needs a master to give out orders to it. The theme of helplessness is rife throughout the episode, whether that be Squidward helpless against the new 24-hour policy that Mr. Krabs rolled out, SpongeBob helplessly screaming when he heard the tale of the hash-slinging slasher, or when SpongeBob and Squidward both learned that the hash-slinging slasher may be real. Also, I would like to piggyback to what I previously said about Robert Eggers, in which this episode gave me vibes to another movie he did, The Lighthouse, which focused on two lighthouse keepers stuck on a stormy island where they are driven to madness by isolation and quite possibly something supernatural. Now, I know that the show did plenty of episodes primarily focusing on just two characters before, but I would say having SpongeBob and Squidward focused in one singular location in a scenario where they can't tell what is real and what isn't, it just gives off similar vibes, except for all the mermaid stuff, the inside of the light stuff, the seagull stuff, and a lot more stuff. Overall, I could find myself coming back to this episode year after year for a little light fun as an adult. And if you or your kid are in the mood for something that you both can enjoy on a crisp October night, this would be my recommendation. Thanks so much for watching, and if you want to hear more content like this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you soon, and have a happy Halloween. Peace.